Welcome to You're in Good Hands, the podcast where we dive into everything urology, leading-edge treatments, education on a variety of topics, and expert insights to keep you informed and healthy. Brought to you by the Advanced Urology Institute of Georgia, where innovation meets compassionate care. Because when it comes to your health, you're always in good hands. As always, the information discussed today is purely informative and does not constitute medical advice. Okay, so today we're diving deep into something that might not be the most glamorous topic, but it's certainly important.
Definitely.
We're talking about bladder health. And specifically, we're going to unravel the often silent but significant impact of prostate enlargement on the bladder.
Absolutely. A crucial aspect of men's health that often gets overlooked.
We're pulling some fascinating insights from a presentation by Advanced Urology. They really are the experts in this field.
They are. I've seen their work.
Our goal today is to understand how this connection works and why early intervention can make all the difference. Because honestly, I don't think most people connect those two, right? The prostate and the bladder.
Yeah, they seem like separate entities, but
They're not.
they're very much interconnected. Think about it. The prostate gland actually surrounds the urethra, that tube that carries urine from the bladder.
Right.
So as the prostate gets bigger, which is common as men age, it can squeeze the urethra.
Like a kink in a hose.
Exactly. It restricts urine flow, making it harder to,
To pee.
Yes, to pee.
So what happens to the bladder when it's constantly dealing with this resistance?
You'd think it would just give up,
Right.
but it's tougher than that.
Yeah.
The bladder actually adapts by working harder.
So it's like hitting the gym.
Kind of, yeah. The muscle wall thickens. It's like doing those bicep curls.
Oh.
The detrusor muscle, that's the bladder muscle, becomes more powerful, trying to force urine past the obstruction. And the bladder can keep this up silently for years.
Wow, the bladder's kind of a silent hero then.
Yeah, until it can't anymore.
Right, so when does this hero story turn into a problem? When does this constant strain become too much?
The problem is this constant overwork causes changes to the bladder wall itself.
Okay.
You know how a balloon loses its elasticity if you keep inflating and deflating it?
Oh, I see.
Similar thing happens to the bladder. It gets thicker, stiffer, and loses its ability to expand and contract properly. There are a couple of main ways this happens. First, that detrusor muscle we talked about, it can get overactive and actually thicken, kind of like the heart muscle does under high blood pressure.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And then there's collagen, a protein that builds up in the bladder wall, making it less flexible.
Oh, so these are pretty serious changes then.
Yeah, long-term, often irreversible changes.
So we really can't stress enough this whole proactive versus reactive thing. Early intervention is key here, isn't it?
Absolutely. It's like hitting the pause button on that bladder deterioration.
Okay.
If we can address the prostate enlargement early on, maybe with medication or a minimally invasive procedure, we can take that pressure off the bladder. That can often prevent those long-term changes from taking hold.
Yeah.
But if we wait until the bladder is screaming for help, well, the damage might already be done.
So what happens when it starts screaming? What are those SOS signals?
Okay, imagine this. You constantly feel like you have to pee. Ugh. Even when your bladder isn't full, you're running to the bathroom all the time. Maybe even leaking before you get there.
That sounds awful.
It is. It's called overactive bladder, or OAB. It's incredibly disruptive.
Yeah.
Or another scenario, you strain to pee but never feel like you fully emptied your bladder.
Oh, gosh. Okay.
This can lead to UTIs, bladder stones, even kidney problems down the line. None of that is fun.
No, definitely not. So early intervention, clearly that's the goal, but what does that actually look like?
Well, there are actually a lot of great options out there. Some medications, like alpha blockers, relax those bladder, neck, and prostate muscles.
Okay.
That helps urine flow better.
So it kind of eases the pressure.
Exactly. And then there are 5 alpha reductase inhibitors. Those can actually help shrink the prostate over time.
Wow. So some real solutions there.
And for some men, a minimally invasive procedure, something like a TUR, transurethral resection of the prostate, might be the best option.
So we've got a whole arsenal of tools then. But let's say someone gets the treatment they need. Are they good to go? Or is ongoing care still important?
Ongoing care is super important. Prostate enlargement is often progressive. It doesn't just stop. So seeing a urologist regularly is key.
Yeah. Makes sense.
They can keep an eye on prostate size, bladder function, and catch any signs of that bladder overcompensation early on.
Before it becomes a bigger problem.
Exactly. Tests like urodynamics that measures how your bladder, the sphincter muscles, and the urethra are all working together, and imaging studies can really give a good picture of your bladder health.
This has been super helpful. Thank you so much for sharing all this.
My pleasure. It's so important for men to be proactive about their health.
Absolutely. And for anyone listening who wants to dig deeper into this or maybe even schedule a consultation, I highly recommend checking out Advanced Urology.
Great recommendation.
They have a ton of information on their website, and their team is just fantastic.
They're really dedicated to helping.
You can find them online at www.advancedurology.com. You know, it's amazing how much our bodies do behind the scenes, all that compensation going on without us even realizing it.
Yeah.
It really makes you wonder what other silent struggles might be happening.
That's a thought-provoking point, and it really highlights how crucial it is to listen to our bodies and seek professional guidance when something feels off.
Couldn't agree more. So, to our listeners, we'll leave you with this. What can you do today to prioritize your bladder health? Knowledge is power. Keep learning, keep asking questions. And seriously, don't hesitate to reach out to those experts at Advanced Urology. They can help you navigate all this and stay on top of your bladder health for years to come.
Absolutely. Take charge of your health.
Thanks for tuning in.
See you next time.
If you happen to be in Georgia, you can always check out Advanced Urology Institute of Georgia. They've got 10 convenient locations throughout Metro Atlanta. You can make an appointment by calling 678-344-8900 or go online to www.advancedurology.com.
Great advice.